And we begin tonight with breaking news in Virginia Beach. A vote just came down on redistricting in the city.
This affects several students and their families, hundreds of them. 10 on your side's Jason Marks was there as that decision was reached. Jason.
Tom, I can tell you the board tonight was not unanimous. A 6-4 final vote, so you can tell that they were a little bit split on the issue. It all came down to redistricting, and as you just heard people say, they really were not sure which way they were going to vote to the end.
The Virginia Beach School Board was split tonight. There were members on both sides of the redistricting fence.
This is not how we roll. I mean, we don't operate like this.
Neither of these plans are perfect.
This plan is only solves the problem for half of the neighborhood.
The system was proposing moving students from Cook Elementary to SeaTac. Cook is well over capacity and can no longer handle its more than 700 students.
We have utilized every inch of Cook, but there still isn't enough room.
SeaTac is under capacity, so school officials wanted to send new students that way. But some Cook parents didn't like the idea, saying students would have to travel too far to go to SeaTac. They would also lose their neighborhood school.
No one should be inconvenienced to the extent that they're being inconvenienced unless it has to be done.
SeaTac was moved 12 years ago to the corner of Bird Neck and General Booth. The old school was in the Oceana crash zone. It's a unique situation because it's not surrounded by neighborhoods.
And SeaTac will never, ever, ever be a neighborhood school. They're going to always be on the outside corner of whatever zone they're in, simply by the location.
The board looked and voted at several options, but in the end approved the redistricting with one exception. Students that live in Salt Meadow Bay will now continue going to Cook.
The map did make sense. Our community would be traveling, over twice the distances through two other school zones to get to our school, and so we didn't see it as a fair proposal.
And the board admitted tonight there's no way to make everyone happy when you're dealing with redistricting. What they did in the end was something that they say they did not want to have to do a couple years down the road. They really did not want to go ahead and move students out of one school and then 5 years later go, oh, let's move them back. So they wanted to make sure that when they did, it stood for a long time. That's the latest here in Virginia Beach. Jason Marks, 10 on your side.